What is going on? It's me, Mayar. Where have you been? Don't worry about it, because I'm here now, and that's all that matters. But I'm here in Cambridge because I just met with my buddy Nick Bev, and Nick and I went to a cigar lounge and we had a smoke and we got some sushi, and that was dope. That was cool. We had some conversation about what's been going on in our lives lately and about the things that have been inspiring and motivating us. And I really walked away from that conversation feeling a little wiser. But that's what prompted me to think about today's, or I should say tonight's, thought of the day. And what we talked about was really about the people who have been inspiring and motivating us. And inevitably, the one person that came up was none other than my man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I just finished up his autobiography, which he called Total Recall, My Unbelievably True Life Story. And it's funny because a lot of books and movies claim to be unbelievable and amazing, when this guy's story was truly unbelievable and amazing. Like, if you think about dream conception and dream realization, I don't think there's anyone around today in the modern world who has a higher ratio than Arnold Schwarzenegger. This guy literally accomplished everything that he set out to do. So I think there's something to be learned in that. But one thing that really stood out to me in his book was what he called his 6 rules for success. And he outlined these rules in his speech to the University of Southern California in 2009. And that prompted me to think about some principles that I can use to pattern my own life around. So I came up with a few things that I want to share with you. And what I want to do is I want to call these my 3 rules for today to ensure a better tomorrow. And the first rule, the first principle is find a mentor. Find someone who is a like-minded and like-hearted individual who has similar goals and dreams as you, who can keep you on your path. Find an accountability partner like that. Find someone who is already winning at the game in the area of interest that you want to become a master in, so that you can invest that person into yourself. Because we all need a coach from time to time, do we not? I mean, think about it. Think about Tiger Woods, who most people would say was one of the greatest golfers of all time at one point. Whenever he swings the ball, if you ever watch him, whenever he swings, he'll look at the ball and then he'll look to the left to look at his coach. Now, if Tiger Woods needs a coach, what do I need? What do you need? Think about Muhammad Ali, who he would say, I am the greatest. But every bout that he won, Angelo Dundee was in his corner. Michael Jordan, who most people would say was the greatest NBA player of all time, he never won a championship until Phil Jackson showed up. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, again, perfect example. He would not have become a household name if it wasn't for Joe Weider, who turned him on to the bodybuilding circuit in the United States back in the 60s and 70s. All of these people rose to the top because they formed a relationship with someone who could see what they couldn't see. And I think that the reason why most people can't see their personal greatness is because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. So what you and I have to do is to find someone who can watch us and coach us from a distance in order for us to get better. So number 1, find a mentor. My second principle is see life as a sculpture, not a slot machine. You know, I've talked about this a lot, but Greek philosophers, they used to advocate this philosophy of eudaimonia. And what eudaimonia basically says is you and I, in order to attain a great life, we have to master those 4 areas of our lives. The health, wealth, love, and happiness pillar. So it's funny because, you know, I feel like it's a shame that you and I have been taught by well-intentioned people that we're just going to someday hit it big in these 4 areas. Like, we're going to hit the lottery. Think about it. Like, what have we been taught about love? That we're going to be in our favorite cafe and we're going to be sitting there drinking our tea or coffee, and we're going to look to the left, and there she is. There he is. The woman, the man of your dreams. And love at first sight, right? Like, that's not the case. Think about wealth. You and I have been taught that we're just going to one day come up with a great invention or a revolutionary idea, and we're going to cash in big. Is that the reality? Think about health. Health is another perfect example. What do all the infomercials say? Use this ab roller and transform your life in 7 days, right? Or take this pill and see your life change before your eyes. That's what I call the slot machine approach to life. If you try to pattern your life around that sort of probability, well, chances are you're not going to be successful. What you and I have to adopt is the sculptor approach. And what does the sculptor first do when he has that vision in mind, that dream in mind? The sculptor first finds his rock. Now, what does the rock represent? The rock basically represents the general area or the interest that you have to become a master in, to specialize in. And what the sculptor does after he chooses his rock is he takes patient and deliberate strokes with the hammer and chisel to carve out his masterpiece. Not wild power strokes with a sledgehammer. Arnold Schwarzenegger never took wild power strokes with a sledgehammer. He never just went to the gym one time and went super hard and was like, I'm not seeing results, this is stupid. He was in the gym for 5 hours a day, 6 days a week, 8 hours, like 8-hour work days. He was working a full-time job, and in those 8 hours, he figured out how to work out for 5 hours out of those days. 2 hours in the morning, an hour at lunch, and 2 hours in the evening. Jackie Chan is another great example. Jackie Chan never just showed up to an audition and they said, hey, you look good, let's just take you. This guy was in a drama academy for 10 years of his life, practicing martial arts and drama every single day. It's like this trend. You got to see the trend here, because successful people can't point to just one thing that made them successful. It's like a multitude of things. The sculptor approach, success is all about chipping away at those areas in your life day by day, being patient but deliberate, being impatient to start but patient while in the process. That's what's important. That's number 2. Number 3, the third principle that I have to share with you. You know, a lot of people see failure as a step backwards. No, that's not the case at all. Failure is a step forward. Every time you fail, you learn something from it. You gain something from it. You feel less anxiety when you do it another time, and you do it a third time, and you do it a fourth time. That's progress in every sense of the word. I mean, think about it. Every time you fail, you have this wonderful opportunity to gain knowledge. That's why my third principle is that a setback is a setup for a comeback. You're going to face a lot of obstacles in your life. You're going to face a lot of challenges, but they're not there to stop you. They're only there to help you, and they're there to reveal you to yourself. Think about Miles Davis, who was a musician. He used to say in life, if you hit a wrong note, it's the next note that makes it good or bad. Miles Davis knew something that you and I don't know. So you got to think of it that way. Every time you fail, you got this chance to bounce back. Every failure repositions you for success. Never forget that. So, in closing, from this point on, find someone who can see what you can't see. Find someone who can see those things and can pull them out of you. See life as a marathon, not a sprint. And know that the only person that you're in competition with, as my mentor Nathan Lewis Jackson would say, is not the person to your left or to your right. It's the person you see in the mirror. And the last principle, know that it's going to be your tragedies, not your triumphs, that make up the greatness of your story. That's all I got for you tonight. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. But until then, keep those 3 principles in mind. I'll talk with you next time.